Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel once again. And in this video today, we are going to learn how to deploy VPN gateways, in which we have to active standby and active VPN. And apart from this, we would uh, learn about what is ExpressRoute failover and zone redundant gateways. I hope this will be informative. So before you can deploy VPN gateway, you need some Azure and on-premises resources. So the meaning is like you should have proper infrastructure. Okay, let's see what is this. Required Azure resources. You will need these Azure resources before you can deploy an operational VPN gateway. So we'll discuss about all those things one by one. So the very first thing what you need to have is virtual network. Okay guys, so virtual network, deploy a virtual network with enough address space for the additional subnet that you will need for the VPN gateway. So this is your the very first requirement, or you can say required Azure resource. So one of the resource which is required to deploy a VPN uh, gateway is virtual network. So you should have sufficient enough IP addresses. Okay, and apart from this, the address space for this virtual network must not overlap with the on-premises network that you will be connecting to. So overlapping should not be there. You can deploy only one VPN gateway within a virtual network. So guys, make a note. So you can see here in this picture we have one Azure virtual network. Okay, this is virtual network. You can see we have one gateway subnet, and inside this you can say virtual network gateway. Okay, and this is public IP address, and this is connection, logical connection, local network gateway, resource group, and VPN device. This is this one. So this is how the complete setup we will have to configure, or we need to configure to make a successful VPN gateway. Okay, I hope you understood whatever we have discussed here. Next we will see what is required resource, that is subnet, gateway subnet. Okay, gateway subnet, you can see here, this is this one gateway subnet. So we saw this virtual network. Now we are going to see about gateways or gateway subnet. So deploy a subnet called for VPN gateway. Use at least CIDR 24 27 address mask to make sure you have enough IP address in the subnet for future growth. You can't use this subnet for any other service, so you should keep this separate. Okay, and the next one, public IP address. Create a basic SKU dynamic public IP address if you are using a non-zone aware gateway. Next one, this address provides a public routable IP address. Okay, a public routable IP address as the target for your on-premises VPN device. Let's see where it is once again. So this is the public IP address. Okay, now we'll see the next one, and this IP address is dynamic, but it will not change unless you delete and recreate VPN gateway. So this IP is a dynamic IP address. Next one is local network gateway. So let's see where it is in this one. We are talking about local network gateway. Create a local network gateway to define the on-premises networks configuration. So we are using this for on-premises network configuration to define. Okay, such as where the VPN gateway will connect and what it will connect to, where and what it will connect to. Okay, let me go back. So you can see it is showing you connections, okay, where it is going, and it is also connected to this virtual network gateway. Apart from this, this configuration includes the on-premises VPN device IP address version 4, or device public IP address, okay, public IP version 4 address, that this VPN on-premises VPN device IP address, and the on-premises routable network. This information is used by the VPN gateway to route packets that are destined for on-premises networks through the IP security tunnel. So we will be using, I mean, it will create one tunnel also for this packet transmission. Apart from this virtual network gateway, we need to have in our infra virtual network gateway. So where is virtual network gateway? This is the one, virtual network gateway. Okay, what is the role of virtual network gateway here? Create the virtual network gateway to route traffic between the virtual network and the on-premises data center or other virtual network. This one. So this is your local means on-premises. It is creating connection from this side or connectivity, as well as this side. Okay, you can say cloud or other network. That is the role of virtual virtual network gateway. Apart from this, the virtual network gateway can be either a VPN or ExpressRoute gateway. So either it could be, or it can be VPN or ExpressRoute gateway. What? This unit only deals with VPN virtual network gateways. Okay, and I will tell you about in my coming up video. Okay, in separate module and length about ExpressRoute, and that is going to be my next video. You can see I have prepared my PPTs. So once this video is over, I will be discussing about ExpressRoute. This one, Azure ExpressRoute fundamentals, and what are features and benefits of Azure ExpressRoute and ExpressRoute connectivity models. So that is all I'm going to discuss in my next video. So where we are in this, we are here. Okay, so guys, as of now we have understood about virtual network gateway. Now we'll talk about connections. So guys, create a connection resource to create a logical connection between VPN gateway and local network gateway. VPN gateway and local network gateway. So this is connection, basically this is your local and this is VPN. So definitely there will be a logical connection, then only they will able to communicate with each other. Okay, and what are the other things in this? The connection is made to the on-premises VPN device IP version 4 address as defined by the local network gateway. Okay, local network gateway, and the connection is made from virtual network gateway and its associated public IP addresses, what it is actually. So you can see this logical connection is coming from this side. So it is having one public IP address and virtual network from this side. Okay, you can create multiple connections. The following diagram shows same thing. Okay, let's see. This is what I was talking about. So we have we can create multiple connections, but the basic requirement is, once again, we should have local network gateway and virtual network. We need to create gateway subnets, virtual networks. Okay guys, very simple. And you can see this is VPN device. We have one VPN device this side. Now let's see required on-premises resources. Now what and all we need to have at on-premises site. So to create a to to connect your data center to a VPN gateway, you will need these on-premises resources. So you can see the very first one is VPN device that supports policy-based or route-based VPN gateways. So in my previous video, I spoke about what is policy-based and what is route-based VPN gateway and which is more preferable. So I had discussed like route-based was very preferable VPN gateway, and apart from this, a public facing internet routable IP version 4 we should have on premises. Okay, these are required resources. Apart from this, like if we talk about high availability scenario, there are several ways to ensure you have a fault tolerant configuration. For this, there are two type of mechanism we have. One is active stand or active active. What it is actually, we'll discuss now. So guys, by default VPN gateways are deployed as two instances in an active stand configuration, even if you only see one VPN gateway resources Azure in Azure. So by default it is active stand configuration. Okay, and let's see little more. When you planned maintenance or unplanned disruption affects the device instance, the standby instance automatically assumes responsibility for connection without any user intervention. So for example, you have two server or two device here. Okay, so this is your primary, for example, and this is your active. So the other will be in standby mode, and if you are doing any maintenance on your this one primary, so this secondary or standby device will take responsibility to function or to provide functionality to your resources, or it will make resources accessible from this standby device. That is the concept of active and stand. Very simple. Okay, and for this you do not need to manually make any change or any configuration. Automatically it will pick up, yes, I am responsible when my primary device is down. Connections are interrupted during this failover, but they are typically restored within a few seconds. So when this is going down, there might be little failover because it has to switch here, but it will not take much time. It will restore in few seconds. Okay, for planned maintenance and within 90 seconds for unplanned disruptions. So you can see you have, this is a small diagram here. This is your, this one is on premises site. Okay, you can see, and this is your virtual network East US, and we have one on premises virtual network, I mean VPN, virtual private network 1 on premises this side, and now it is connecting to infrastructure which is on cloud. So you can see we have one standby and active here. Okay, this is your active, this is your standby, and Azure VPN gateway. This is your Azure VPN gateway which is having by default configuration active and stand, and these are the IP addresses. Very simple. If this goes down, automatically this device will establish connectivity with your on premises. That is what all about we have with this active and stand VPN standby. Now let's talk about active and active. Okay, active. With the introduction of support for BGP routing protocol, you can also deploy VPN gateways in an active configuration. Okay, last what we saw is active standby. Now we are seeing active configuration. So what is the functionality of active configuration here? Let's see. In this configuration, you assign a unique public IP address to each instances. So we need to create instances here. Okay, and for this we need to assign a unique public IP address to each instance. Apart from this, when you then create separate tunnel from the on-premise device to each IP address. So then we have to create separate tunnel for each uh, IP address. Okay, from like from the on-premises device to each IP address. First we need IP address, then on-premises devices. So we need to create separate tunnel. How it is, we'll see. You can extend the high availability by deploying an additional VPN device on premises. So you can extend the high availability by deploying an additional VPN device on premises if you wish, and if you are capable to do it. So how it is, let's see. So once again we have one virtual network, East US. You can see on premises infrastructure. We have on premises VPN 1, on premises VPN 2. Okay, on premises VPN 2. So you can see here, this is Azure VPN gateway, and you can see virtual machine 1, VM1, VM2. Okay, here, and how it is connected, it is connected with this also, and this one is connected with this also, and this is connected with this also. So it is a like multi connection. Okay, and that is why it is called like redundant. There is no possibility of failure or downtime. Okay, even if one line goes down, it will have access from other connection or other connectivity. Okay, for example, if this is down, this line is down, so it can access this active virtual machine can access data from this side from your on premises. Connection will be established. So that is why it is called active. Okay, and apart from this, now we'll talk about express route failover. So guys, another high availability option is to configure a VPN gateway as a secure failover path for express route connections. Apart from this, express route circuit have resiliency built in. It is by default having a resiliency. Okay, and but they are not what is this? I don't know what is the meaning of this word. First time I'm seeing it, seems uh immune. Okay, what they aren't they are not immune to physical problem that affects the cables delivering connectivity or outage that affect the complete express route location. In high availability scenario where there is a risk associated with an outage of an express route circuit, you can also provision a VPN gateway that uses the internet as the alternate method of connectivity. So if you have like any doubt or any risk of outage, then you can choose internet as an alternative method of connectivity. In this way, you can ensure there is always a connection to the virtual network. So this comes under express route. Okay, failover. Apart from this, we have zone redundant gateways. So guys, in regions that supports high availability zone, VPN gateway and express route gateways can be deployed in zone redundant configuration. This configuration brings resiliency, scalability, and high availability to virtual network gateways. Apart from this, deploying gateways in Azure availability zone or zones physically and logically separates gateway within a region while protecting your on-premises network connectivity to Azure from zone level failure. So all it is about to provide you service continuously. These gateways require different gateways SKU and use standard public IP addresses instead of basic public IP addresses. So guys, I am done with this video. I hope this was informative. This would be informative only when you make a note. Okay, unless until it cannot help you at all. So once again, it is up to you whether you are making notes or not. so I'm not sure about it. So if you feel you can do anything from this screen, and in next video we are going to learn about Azure ExpressRoute fundamentals. Okay, what are benefits and features of ExpressRoute, and apart from this, what are the models of ExpressRoute connectivity. Okay, so that is what I'm going to discuss in next video. Till then, bye bye.